Monday. So you could be watching big burly men in tight clothes slamming into each other.
Sometimes I can't.
But instead, you're here with all of us wonderful individuals. Because what is football anyways? Football is just, and then they have fantasy football, which is just basically D&D for jocks. You take your characters and you put them around. It's basically wargaming without the table. Anyways, enough about all that. Hi, everyone. Was your weekend? I hope you got up to something fun. I know that I had a little bit of fun on yesterday. I got to play a pugilist who died. Yep, my half-orc was playing. We were playing Descent into Avernus, and my half-orc, he got murdered. And it's okay. It's fine. I wasn't attached. I don't get attached to characters anymore. Now they're just one after the other on a sheet, and I just check that one off. So I brought in my my polearm master samurai that some of you may be familiar with in other games. So there we go. Hello, Orlando Geek, and hello to Decavolti. Thank you all for joining in there. And we have Steve back this week, so yay! He's not being overworked by the man, if you will. In other words, getting them dollar bills, y'all. So some sad news, and we'll cover all that. But first, a huge thanks to D&D Beyond, as always, for their continued support, allowing us to use their tools and utilize all of their stuff. Don't forget, Rime of the Frost Maiden dropped on the 15th. You can pick that up in the store now and D&D Beyond. Pre-orders for Tasha's probably won't go on until next month in October. I could be wrong on that, but keep an eye out for it because we're only a few days away from October. So Tasha's Cauldron of Everything comes out in November. So keep an eye out for that. Speaking of things that are coming out, we were all excited because Baldur's Gate 3 was to drop this week, but they pushed it back. There were some issues with some localization issues and some other things that they were trying to hammer out, and they didn't want to drop an incomplete product. And if you know anything about Larian Studios, their products are great. So I'm okay with it because it only moved back a week. So it's October 6th now instead of September 30th. So
not even a week. It was just 6 days.
Yeah, it's like just a few days. So it's good. I'm glad. I would rather you not go the route of some other companies that will remain nameless with their weird glitches and their screens and things like that. So, you know who I'm talking about. Anyways, so we're going to be playing
sir,
that.
Are you talking shit about the Avengers?
I am not talking shit about the Avengers and Cap's costume, World War II costume, where his lip was tied together, and it looks like he was having an embolism the whole entire time I'm playing him. Like, you know, it's the
no,
it's
you're
the Bell
right.
Palsy costume. So, anyways, Deca, you right though, Deca, you right. Anyway, so October 6th now instead, and I know that I've already, I can't pre-purchase it, but I will be picking it up as soon as I can. In the meantime, one of my other, not really a huge fan, but I like it. Star Wars Squadron drops October 2nd. That is this Friday, and I have already pre-purchased that. So if anybody wants to squad up and shoot down some X-Wings, because let's all face it, TIE Fighters are way better. So anyways. That's all coming out this weekend, and then next week, again, Tasha's coming out in November, and we've already seen that some of that should be dropping on the D&D Beyond, like the pre-orders and stuff like that. I know you can already get them from the store, so if you're in Huntsville and you're at Lucky Dice or your preferred local gaming store, you should be able to pre-order your copy of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. The variant cover looks gorgeous. So, let's see what else is going on. Big announcement. Lucky Dice Cafe and Liquor Express, where Dire Bear Adventuring Company can be found almost every week. Well, not so much. With how everything is going around and people not really getting out because of the whole mask ordinance and not wanting to be out and still social distancing and things, we thought it best that instead of trying to do a weekly thing where we just kind of cram stuff together. We are actually going to go with a monthly experience. So every month, and we will we'll put the invitations up on Facebook, and I'll be broadcasting those out everywhere. But once a month, there will be a D&D event or an adventure night event that is going on at those locations. It's going to be a much bigger deal than what I've had in the past, where I've just kind of thrown things together and said, hey, let's run this evening. It's going to be terrain. Speaking of, I bought more Warlock tiles this weekend. Thanks for your guys' support, allowing me to purchase those things. I bought more Warlock tiles so that I can click those all together and make this huge layout for a dungeon, including stairs and level changes and all this fun stuff that we've got going on. So if you are local in the Huntsville area or even just close to North Alabama, keep an eye out for the event. Come out and enjoy some food and some fun playing D&D or maybe Humblewood or something. We'll see what's going on. So yeah, I'll be advertising, but they're going to be the second weekend of each month going forward. So until such a time as we decide to change the format for that. So let's see. With that being said, I think that's all of the announcements I have. So recap time. When last we left the party, they acquired. That's the word I'm looking for. They acquired the second piece of the sword. They did some soul searching and some conversations were had with voices in their head. No, I promise the party's not crazy. No, I can't promise that. Anyways, eventually they decided to opt for the magical route to get to Prestigio. They arrived in Prestigio to find that it was in ruins. As they approached, a Solar and a Planetar made their presence known. In the back, gigantic titans were tromping their way through the city. Floating amongst them was Ganneman himself, a man trying to make himself into a deity, into a god. Actually, I guess he kind of has made himself into a god. They are standing in the city and trying to duck and hide for cover as the city is under attack from celestial beings, as the Planetar and the Solar flew away to attack the Empyreans that were marching. And we're going to pick up right there. The city is under siege. You can feel the ground beneath your feet starts to shake and move as you watch these titanic figures make their way through the cities like so many toddlers through toy blocks, just smashing their way through. All around them, like swarming insects, you can see winged creatures, both Planetar and Solar, and even a few Diva that are swimming around trying to fight these things off. Like a puppeteer of two gigantic titans, you can watch this figure float between them, encased in a bubble of energy. Ganneman himself. The Solar that stopped you flew away. You can see the city is in shambles and disarray. And you're not really sure where this last piece is. Party. We'll start with Satil. What are you doing?
First thing Satil's going to try to do is, it's probably a long shot. He's going to have a shot anyway because magic. He's familiar with 2 of the 3 parts of the sword.
Yeah. Considering they're in your possession, yes.
Yes. He's going to attempt.
Every time he has no object permanency, every time he reaches in his bag and pulls them out, what are these?
Where are they someone nearby, some NPC goes, "What are those?" Okay. No. He's going to attempt locate object and see if him focusing just sort of on the sword itself will reveal the 3rd piece, or if he's going to have to go searching for it.
Okay. Well, let's see. So a
Because he's a
specific
very
you can
tired wizard.
describe or name an object that is familiar to you. It can locate a specific object that is known to you as long as you have seen it up close within 30 feet at least once. Alternatively, it can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon. The spell cannot locate an object if any thickness of lead, even a thin sheet, blocks a direct path between you and the object. So,
I wouldn't have been able to know where Ezra was then.
Lead. There was no lead.
Oh, right.
It was all rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. He's gonna try to focus on this sword itself since he has two of the pieces, and the piece that's missing is the middle, and he can kind of mentally gauge what that should probably look like given the appearance of the other pieces.
So you're like, it's like trying to find the last piece, or like trying to find a piece of the center of the puzzle. You have like two pieces, and you're like, okay, I get the general shape of this, and this is
the cat jumped on the table, knocked a piece off. I'm trying to find it now.
Yeah. Let's see. How about this? The spell will not fizzle.
Okay.
I need an let's see. Let's go with. You're not a blacksmith at all, are you?
No, I'm not a blacksmith. I'm familiar with blades, given his background, but he is not a blacksmith.
Give me a history check then.
Yay, disadvantage. Okay, history. 22.
Okay.
I rolled a 7.
So it flashes in and out. It comes in like a pulse, and then it fades, and then it pulses in again, and then it fades, and then it pulses in again, and it fades, and it pulses and fades. And the whole time you're watching it, it's moving up and down, so along a z-axis.
Okay.
As it moves through underneath the city through like a path. It seems like something's carrying it, and maybe it's being obscured and then seen again.
Okay, so it's probably, since he's familiar with the spell, it's probably passing through lead of some kind at bits and pieces of time.
Okay. Right. You're getting the idea of how quick it's flashing and disappearing, that whatever's moving it, it's moving it at a pretty good clip. You're probably talking like
sprinting or...
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Give me just a straight intelligence roll. No proficiency bonus, just intelligence roll D20 plus end.
Would this still be at disadvantage given my exhaustion?
It is an ability check.
Okay.
So I am gonna make it with the disadvantage.
Gotcha. Okay, so straight intelligence. 9.
Something seems strange about it, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Okay.
But you do know where it's at, or at least the path that it's moving through the city.
Okay. He'll just sort of glance in that direction. It's like, the other piece of the sword's that way.
As he kind of points down into the city, like Undercroft. All right. Let's see. So Satil tells you where this is located at. So Zora, and let's go Zora and Mello. Start with Zora. What actions do you want to take? What do you want to do?
I've never been here. Do we even know how to get underneath the city?
I don't think so. Like that was me, like the player going, there wasn't an underneath the city last time we were here, and then me, the player also knowing no, with the memory nonsense, he wouldn't know that.
This is also true.
Yeah, so I just stopped
Mello.
myself.
I'm going to start staring at the ground, seeing if I can find like a storm drain or something.
Give me an investigation check. Or actually, I'll make it perception.
All right. Probably would have been better with investigation. Not that it matters, but 9.
Nothing is obvious as far as like a point of egress into the sewers. You guys notice Mello is starting to kind of look around. Either his shoe is untied or he's missing one and trying to figure out where it's at. He looks confused as he does so.
I look at his feet. Does he have both shoes?
He does have both shoes, as far as I know.
Fair.
Wait, does he even wear shoes?
Yeah. I had to double
I've
check.
asked this question, and the answer is yes.
Okay.
After
Yeah.
Gillett, we had to ask the question.
That's true. Because
That is true, yeah.
that poor cobbler.
I miss Gillett so much.
I miss that cobbler. I thought I was done with you. All right. So, what about Ezra and Tangaroa? Satil has told you that it's moving beneath the city in a certain way. 1 second, guys. Thank you so much, Ray, again for the gifted sub. It looks like in part lol waffle, impartial waffle. There we go. Impartial waffle. That's where we go. Thank you again, Raymond, so much for supporting us and for giving out the gift there. All right, so Ezra and Tangaroa.
Ezra's not here.
Tenza. Tenzra.
Tensor. So we're going underground?
Well, as far as I can tell, yeah. It's moving. It's disappearing at pieces, parts of time. But I could probably figure that out. But busy. Gestures to the Civil War happening.
This place is like kind of been destroyed, right? Just kind of, just a little bit. Okay, perfect.
I mean, there are still buildings that are standing, but it is definitely much more war zone than just shady district.
Has there been any sort of Okay, so this is where this is the area we started off, so it's nowhere near the volcano, right?
That is correct. It is nowhere near the caldera.
Okay, perfect. My only question is the ground, like with all the battles and everything and everything that is here, is any of the ground tried splitting apart? Like, is there something near me that I could just climb up real quick to take a view of the surrounding area?
Yeah, there's actually a couple of buildings that you can climb up onto. Easily enough, like that aren't on fire. How's that?
That works even better.
If Zora sees him trying to climb onto stuff, she'll slap a fly spell on him.
Okay. If I don't have to climb, that's even better. I'll just fly right up.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I'm tired. Satil burned his radiant soul for the day already. That off.
Most of the stuff that I'm just looking for in the grounds are basically any sort of rifts, the ground falling apart, if there any sort of cave-ins, like potholes in the mentality of it all.
Actually, give me a perception check. Give me a perception check, and we'll find out.
I got big eyes. 28.
Actually, you do notice that some of the section that is off from where you are, so you're like on a kind of a not a main thoroughfare, but you do notice as you look through, you can see one of the larger sections of the street, like where a main road would be. You can see that it is buckled in places and collapsed in other places, exposing an actual point of entrance. You can see like a tunnel that's partially covered by the debris that fell into the sewer. But you see that it's probably up a couple of streets and then over. You also notice that there are figures moving throughout the streets that are. They have long poles, and on the end of the poles, you can see these half circle pieces that have like metal spikes that fold in and then pop back out again. It looks like they're spring loaded.
Oh.
They're used to go, and you can see somebody has got one around the neck of a person. They push it around and it folds in, and then whenever it comes out, the spikes keep them from moving their head out. It's commonly referred to as a man catcher. And so you can see that they have them, and they do not appear to be gentle. You can see some of them looks like they're made out of chains. One of them seems to be made of like a living mass of chain. You can see several of them that appear to be commanding other smaller groups of devils. Especially these winged women that wear armor, and you can see they carry swords and whips in their hands.
I, the player, know what this is, so I'm just taking a break, taking a mental second. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, you can find a way, but you notice that there are a lot of there's some patrols that are moving. If you are going to get by without any altercation, taxing your resources there, you're going to have to do some stealthy moving.
Issue for me. He'll drop back down to the ground. Whether it's kindly or not, he wouldn't really care. But he'll relay basically all of that information. You want to go underground? There's an area up the way, but either stealthy or we pick a fight.
Can any of us have any of them more of those flash bangs?
I didn't use any of mine, so you're free to have them if you want.
Might come in handy.
I don't think any of us really used ours except for you.
I think he used the stink grenade.
Oh yeah, he used the food bomb. That's right.
Oh, he'd also mentioned that men of chain and armored and wicked ladies and man catchers.
Man catchers,
which Ezra almost dealt with before whenever we were on the docks.
Well, that sounds lovely.
I will start a fight over if they get close. So you must all make the decisions first.
Whichever route gets us there.
All right, Tangaroa.
I don't know. The underground sounds like a promising way because it seems like it's the most direct. But I'm a little uneducated on the subject. I apologize.
Well, the current street that you're on right now is only about maybe 10, let's see, with the edges, we'd say 15 feet wide. You got 2.5 feet of like walk and then 10 feet of road, so 15 feet wide. From behind you, one of the buildings is partially fallen in and created kind of a barrier. And so you have about 30 feet before you can see it diverting down an alley. No, I'm sorry. You have it going 15 feet before it diverts down an alley, which are only about 5 feet wide, and then you have it going another 15 feet, so 30 feet till it hits the wide road piece that you saw earlier. As you are deciding there, Tangaroa, something, your connection to the divine and your paladin background, your history as being who you are, for some reason, just as a natural flinching, you tighten your hand around your weapon just a little bit.
Doesn't feel right.
Zastari, what are you doing in the midst of this? You've heard it's underground. There's a way in. There's a lot of things around. And something doesn't feel right now.
Oh, I mean,
And
something
Mello
didn't
has
feel
both
right.
shoes.
Oh, good. But I mean, something didn't feel right the moment we arrived here. So, you said it was a couple blocks over.
Yeah, it's like a couple blocks over where the collapse is. The main street, though, that you're looking for is about 30 feet up.
Are these houses next to us?
Yep. Some of them are like houses and shops, but most of the ones around you are like tenant buildings, so they're like multiple stories.
Are the windows broken?
Oh yeah, it's shattered in most of them.
The easiest way to stealth through this is going to be going through the houses. Keeps us off the street, keeps us out of eye view. If we need to get underground, it's going to be the best way to go. So if nobody has any objections then?
Whatever gets us there.
If we need to, I can make it invisible too.
Oh, that'll work.
I feel like doing magic in front of Celestials might attract attention we don't want, but we'll keep it in our back pocket. If you'll follow me, and then Zastari is just going to lead them through the easiest way.
All right. I need
those with heavy
check.
armor or not. Like, this is the easiest way for them all to get through.
All right. I need stealth checks from everyone, please.
Okay. Also, as a fair note, Satiel would immediately start falling behind if people are moving at their normal pace.
Steve, I don't know if that motion was because yay or not.
What armor is Satiel in?
Light armor.
Like leathers?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an 11 with my disadvantage.
When Tenza realizes somebody is falling behind, and it's not because he wants to, but thanks to Zora's conversation with Ezra is closer than he was. Tenza will go back and... Sorry, I almost pulled my mic off my desk. If you're going to be slow, do you want to be carried? And I only say this because, if Ezra's upset with me, I don't get to come out and play. So, letting you die would probably be, one mistake. First mistake.
You try learning how to rewrite the fabric of reality and see how exhausted you are afterwards, but you know what?
No thanks.
Points in your favor, Tenza. I'll swallow my pride and let it happen.
Over the shoulder or like a bride?
Piggyback!
You know what? Throw me over your shoulder and I can fling magic from your absurdly tall height. How about that?
That would be perfect to have like a waistband platform because they can hold on to the horns while he rides on them back, just sauntering through.
Gosh, no. Touch the horns, Tenza drops you.
Yeah.
I've always wondered. He just reaches up to. They feel like felt. They're like a deer's
Snaps
antler.
the finger.
Mm,
So how do you want this stealth check now that I'm carrying a man?
Well, it's gonna be at disadvantage.
Actually, I do remember something about the Oni. I'm counted as a size larger for carrying,
Mm-hmm.
like brains. So I don't know if that would make a difference at all.
It would for how much and how
Okay.
well, but trying to move stealthily, regardless of your size, with someone on your back is a difficult thing.
I'm a big boy.
Yeah, so you have no problem carrying him.
see, I'm gonna like as this is
It's a
happening.
disadvantage,
I'm just
right?
gonna.
Disadvantage.
So as this is happening, I'm just gonna pat Tins on the top of the head and just give him guidance. Like, good boy.
Need guidance. I rolled 2 nat 20s.
Well,
You're
have it anyway.
I
Kidding.
literally am not shitting.
No, I believe you. I believe you. You don't have to take a picture. It's just
I'm gonna
really
take a
funny.
picture anyway. No, I rolled 2 dice and they're both nat 20s.
Nice.
That's
Well,
awesome.
My
Add-
heart's like in my throat.
Add a
And
D4
that's-
to it anyway. Do it.
And that's the best you get all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally it. 25, 26, 27. Oh,
Okay, so a 27. How did Zastari do?
22. That's with advantage.
22.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tangaroa.
9.
Okay, so 27 you said, or 28 for Tenza.
you said 27
Is that what you had?
in
Or
total
28.
with the D4. No, it was a because I got a plus 5. 25,
Okay.
26, 27.
Cool. Okay, Mello.
24.
24. Zora.
26.
Okay. Nice. Averaging out easy enough to do. So as you
Thank y'all for eating my 11.
And Molly's 9.
Yeah.
We got you.
Can I give Molly one of my nat 20s?
No. That's not how it works.
Spirit.
You're not a divination wizard. As you duck into the to the nearest building, trying to map out a route in your head of how to get over there. The last one of you, I'll let you decide who that is, catches sight of a crew of these creatures moving down the road right where you were. Had you not moved as quickly as you would have definitely come across them and they would have definitely seen you. However, you stealthily pick your way through the rubble, moving at half your speed as you try to carefully pick your way and not fall down the rocks.
Sawteel is going to maintain concentration on locate object. It's kind of just one arm over Tenz's shoulder, just divine rotting. Just that way.
Okay.
That way.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Don't forget that guidance is concentration.
Right, yeah, it is. I forgot about that. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind then.
So yeah, you would have dropped it, the locate object. So you kind of remember where it's at in the last second, but eventually you come across the little alleyway that I was talking about, and you can see another building. Who is leading your little entourage? Who's leading your spec ops group? Okay, Zastari, as you come to the open area, being stealthy the way that you are, you take a look both directions. Give me a perception check, please.
Can I use my passive perception instead?
Nope, because you were actively looking around.
Damn it. Sitting over here with a passive perception of 21.
you will notice without of the periphery the color of that man's hat over there, 3 rows down and 2 rows over. 2 seats over.
Fair enough. That's a 14.
I'm sorry, what?
14.
14? Okay. They're not stealthing. As you're about to step out, you stop for a moment and then recognize that there is somebody moving like past there. You stop your party and you watch as that group like mills about at the end of the alleyway, looking both directions to make sure and see if they can see anybody. And then I'm going to need more stealth checks from everyone, please.
Smack Tenzo with another guidance since he's being carried.
Okay.
Uh, 18 for me.
18. Okay, I was gonna say, did you
I
roll
rolled a-
disadvantage?
Yeah,
Okay,
I rolled a
18.
9, +5, +4 for the D4.
Okay, great. So an 18. How about Tangaroa this time? Because you're still wearing heavy armor, aren't you, buddy?
No, it's actually medium armor.
It still has disadvantage on the stealth, though.
No, just 7.
You're just not a stealthy boy.
No, just roll the 7.
So a 7. Okay, hang on a second. Let me bring up my notepad so I can average this out again. So we had an 18 and a 7. Zora.
18.
18. Okay. Mello.
Another 24.
Ooh, Zastari.
20.
20. All right. I'm just gonna pull the math up here real quick. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Averaged out about 17 and a half, 17 some change. All right. So you guys are able to wait for a moment, pausing before you do it there, and then you quickly stealth through the building into the next side. You've made it about.
Cap is currently frozen. Please hold while our DM reconnects.
I'm
He
here.
froze.
Yeah,
Good.
give
There
us
we
the
go.
description again, because you froze as
Sure.
you were telling us as we
You
were about to go
guys
through the
move
next
about.
building.
Yeah, you move about halfway down through your travel, cutting a beeline towards the sewer. You make your way through the next building, and you can see now the only thing ahead of you is the open road, and then you can see the sewer entrance down where the street has collapsed in. You can see it makes kind of a ramp down into the sewer. Again, around you is just debris, rubble, fallen buildings, some of them still on fire. Zastari, once again, as you come to the edge of it, what is you don't even have to really make a very high perception check, but I would like one anyway.
I believe that's another 14.
Okay.
Yes.
You see more groups of these devils, both the Arañas and the chain devils, and you notice that they are kind of hurting people. Some are being like guided along by those, those catchers. Others are just being prodded with weapons, spears, and swords, and things like that. They seem to be fighting is happening, and it seems like they're going that direction. There's not a whole lot of people in and amongst the group, so it looks like for every one person, there's 3 demons or 3 devils. Excuse me, demons and devils, very different things. but you can see like 3 devils for every 1 person. And there's about 5 groups that you can see. The nearest one is still a good 50 feet from you. However, they are very close to the sewer entrance, and there is not a whole lot to hide from. In other words, you're going to be in open territory until you get into the actual sewer itself. And the rest of you, as you kind of like bunch around the open window and door of this building, you can see the same thing. So you can see that it's about a 40-foot run down the ramp and into the sewer. But you notice that the nearest one, as far as that parties, those devils that are marching around they're probably about another 20 feet past there. So as you run down the ramp, unless you're very lucky, they're probably going to see you.
Okay. I'm going to need all the flashbangs that you guys have.
Oh, we
That
need
that
a
might just draw
distraction.
more attention. I mean, I can
Mm-mm.
turn us invisible if we know it'll hide us.
I can create a distraction. Using the flashbangs, draw their attention away. You all can get underground. I will be behind you not long after.
Question for Cap. You said some of the buildings are on fire. How nearby are those buildings?
You were really quiet.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's, for some reason, my internet tonight is being a real dick. Like a real dick. All right, I know what project I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and
Run that ether cable? Or Ethernet cable?
He disconnected.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Okay.
So the nearest one to them is probably about 30 feet from where they're at.
And to me? Is that how?
Oh, it's past. It's going to be like across the street from you. So, like, say, let's see, it's 40 feet into the sewer. The street itself is 40, 50. I would say to you, it's probably going to be about 60 feet.
60 feet?
60 feet from you, yep.
That is a perfect. Thank you. I will go ahead and make some pyrotechnics.
Okay.
And that certainly works.
As much as I'd love to do some fireworks, I'm just going to make a nice thick smoke.
Okay, so you're just going to make it billow smoke?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, hang on. No, you said it was closer to them than to me, so
That is correct.
we'll do fireworks. My apologies.
Okay.
That'll get their attention.
All right. So tell me what I need to roll, and what are you doing? Are you just trying to make a distraction? Are you trying to like interrupt them? How is this going to play out?
I'm making a distraction, but any creature within 10 feet of it needs to make a Constitution save or become blinded.
Okay. None of them are close enough as it goes off to be caught by that. However, it does cause the effect that you want. Immediately, they turn and start stomping off in that direction. You can see the Arañez is shouting commands in Infernal. Yes, Infernal.
Yeah,
she's
speak that language. What's she saying?
She's basically saying, fan out, flank them on the other side. And she's basically giving tactical commands, and you can watch as the chain devils are breaking out into motion.
Well, good job. They're now fanning out, trying to figure out what the heck you just did.
But they all have their backs,
Yeah,
to the tunnel entrance.
And now we have some flashbangs for later.
All right.
we do.
So now the sprint to the sewer. Who's leading first? Is that still Zastari?
She'd probably just kind of like tug Tenza after her to send him down first since he's carrying Satiel.
Mm-hmm.
And then send the other meat shield down as well. So that would be Tangaroa.
Okay.
Mostly because she just wants to stay there just in case she needs to use one of her flashbangs just to give them more of a chance to get away.
All right. Are you sprinting outright with no regard to stealth, or are you going to try to stealth through?
Well, if they're not looking at us and are distracted and we have the benefit of smoke on our side, I'm probably not going to try and be super stealthy about this.
Okay. Now, it doesn't create smoke from what I understand. It's just the pop and fire of, like, pyrotechnics going off. So there's a lot of pop and sizzle. And, you know, it sounds like, well, I would say the
Fireworks.
4th of July here in the U.S., but, you know, that's here in the U.S. Not everybody's American? What? How un-American of you.
I mean, to be fair, I live close enough to the river that I hear the fireworks going off on July 4th anyway.
That's a fair statement. So, they're distracted, so you're not going to go with stealth. You're going to just sprint right out. What is your movement, Tenza?
Feet.
I'm sorry. What was that again?
50.
50 feet. You make it into the tunnel with no issues. Give me.
Oh, go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
Oh, once he's in the tunnel and they're far enough in, he'd probably just sort of like roughly put Satail down, but go back to the entrance to help in any way if he can.
Sure. So the tunnel entrance itself is choked out with rubble, and you can you're gonna have to scramble over it. The opening itself normally would be 10 feet. At the apex of it, because it is a circle. However, you notice that you're gonna have to like kind of scramble over it, as about half of that is choked off with rubble. So you got about 5 feet of clearance in there.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Who is next, Tangaroa? What is your movement speed? 30. Okay, so you're gonna have to double move. All right. Go ahead. As you do so, you're running flat out. All right. Okay. All right. You make it through there, and again, you can see Tenza has set Satiel, who has slid over this kind of rubble embankment and into the tunnel itself. I believe Tenza, you're like following right behind him.
Literally slid. I'm just like, yeah.
You're covered in sick now. I'm kidding. You're not. Okay.
He's exhausted.
Then, all right, Zora or Mello, who's up next?
Zora, go ahead.
She'll double move. 30 feet movement.
Okay. What is your passive perception?
21.
As you start to move, you notice the head of one of the chain devils is looking sort of in your guys' direction. Or,
Is it before she moves?
It's like while you're moving. Like you get to the embankment and you see its head turn and look in your
invisibility
direction.
on herself.
Okay. And you disappear from sight.
And she'll, using message. Yeah, I've got message. She will point back over at Zastari and Mello. Oh, tell Zastari. There was one that was looking this way. Wait a couple moments or be careful.
When you got to the embankment or to the rubbled pathway there, Tangaroa, did you just go ahead and scramble on in?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I assume Zora just scrambles on in. So Mello up next, because I think Zastar, you're going last.
Yep.
All right, Mello, you have heard word that one of them was looking in the direction. Give your passive is what now?
My passive is 13.
13. Why don't you give me an active perception check as you're looking up to see if they're still looking that way?
Righto. Oof. 10.
10. It's not difficult. You know where they're at. It's not like they're trying to stealth or hide from you. You do notice that one of the chain devils has moved, and he is now talking to one of the Arañas. There's 2 Arañas there, and there are 4 chain devils. And as he Buckster points back, she turns and looks, and you see that she's kind of scanning the ramp. I assume, Zora, once you got to the embankment, you scrambled over into the tunnel itself. Is that correct?
Yeah, and once she got on the other side, she would drop invisibility.
Okay.
I'd also like to say that Saltiel's owl is on Tenza's shoulder watching what's happening.
Tenza's underneath the tunnel with you
I thought
guys.
he said he went back to the front to watch.
He'd be like near the edge, but like not
Mhm.
close enough that he's sticking out.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
Okay.
fair enough. I misunderstood you then. My bad.
that's okay.
Because
No.
the way that it is the road is like here, and you guys are underneath it, and they're just past where you are. So if they look back, they can see the ramp and like the very bottom edge of the kind of like the sinkhole there, but they can't see the embankment itself. Excuse me. Somewhere along the way, I'm going to start losing my voice.
Well, me, it's bad for your health. You're stuck with it for years.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so they can, if they're not careful, or if the party isn't careful, then they will be noticed, to at least the remaining 2 members will be. And now the Arañez is looking at the ramp. Are you going to try to stealth your way through?
Hey, Zistara, you want to just dimension door with me?
You can do that?
Want to find out?
Well, I've agreed to stupider things.
All right. So I will dimension door 3 feet behind what I can see of the rubble.
Okay. I mean, you can make out that section there, so I'm not going to make it one of those weird rolls where you might end up partway in the rubble. That's just weird. You guys, those of you who are on the other side of the rubble, like on the safe side, we'll call it, immediately behind you, there is a whoop, and you watch as a literal door opens, and Zastari and Mello step out.
Hi.
Tenza, you get word that they are safe on the other side of the embankment now.
All right.
Yeah.
There is literally no light in here. There is a little light in here as patches of the road have caved in on the tunnel, causing little parts of it to be choked with debris, and light from above is dappling in here and there. You can see that all ahead of you, it smells of dust, fire, death, and refuse, and it's a weird combination. It's definitely not a candle scent that you'd buy from Yankee Candle. The tunnel ahead of you runs on for about 10 feet before going into a T. You can go left or right at that T. From what you remember, Mr. Eidetic Memory, you want to go left when you get to the edge of this, when you get to the end of this tunnel.
Okay.
Is it eidetic or idiotic? Disregard me. So you want to go left at the end of the tunnel. Going to the end.
Yeah, he'll just, when we get to the, he'll just go, okay, I had to drop the location spell to help you all out through that. Last thing I remember is that way. And I'll point to the left.
All right. The water that's in here may have flowed at one time, but due to being choked out by debris like you saw and sinkholes here and there, you can see that it's now stagnant. Layers of dust float on the top of it along with other flotsam and jetsam here and there. Again, you can see it's probably about 5 feet deep in the middle. It's a 10-foot diameter, so you've got a raised area on either side, but it's going to be you're going to have to stoop your head a little bit to walk there. If you walk in the middle of it, in the middle of the water, you're fine. Otherwise, you're going to have to kind of tilt your head to walk. But you make your way and you turn left, heading down that direction. As you do so, you can see that is going to be a lot more difficult than what you realize. As side passages here and there shoot off that seem to either fall away into darkness or snake out of sight. The first couple ones that you come to seem to go forward and then snake out of sight, and one of them drops off altogether. You can hear a little bit of the water trickling over the edge, seemingly to fall into some other pool down below. There's spots that you come to where the ground has buckled and you can actually walk on dry in the middle, as opposed to being in this kind of like a stagnant waste. You notice, though, that it's probably going to be a little bit difficult to just try to suss your way out from your memory from what you saw above on the ground. So what is your plan to try to locate this once again?
Well, he'll say this out loud, I can lock onto it again, but I won't be able to give you all any magical help, really, beyond that. As long as I have to concentrate on it anyway. It's up to you. It is
Sorry,
within
I'm just
my
double checking my spell about cold height.
wheelhouse, I suppose you could say.
If it's the best,
I am capable of both combat and magics, and I can locate it if you're willing to allow me to touch the items. Which leaves you free for magical support if that's what you desire.
Don't know. Honestly, most of my spells these days are more built towards combat, considering everything we've run into. I know a decent amount of magical support, but...
All right. So what's your plan? Conserve the wizard spell slots and let the rogue do it, or...
Satiel, he'll think about it for a moment, then he'll just use it himself.
All right. You cast Locate Object, and you cast out with your mind, trying to find that piece again.
Mm-hmm.
There is a blip ahead of you and down, and just as quickly as it comes into your mind, it disappears again. And it seems to be gone for a matter of minutes, and you think that the spell has faded. But you maintain concentration, thinking that maybe it'll reappear again. As you're maintaining your concentration, it does reappear, and it is much closer, being only 100 feet or so. I'm sorry, 200 feet from you. In the direction you were actually going, like straight ahead.
Hey, it's coming to us.
It disappears again from your sight. And you wait a moment, and it reappears again. And everybody give me... Actually, no, your passive perceptions. I know one of you has like a 22, and one of you has a 3,000. And
I have a 20.
One of you got like a 4. 20.
Me! I have the 4. No.
You got some 4.
I got the 4.
I'm a special boy.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a really high perception and passive perception to recognize the sound of the ground beneath you shuddering and thundering, there is once again a kind of a blip from the locate object, and it is now only 100 feet from you. The rumbling is growing louder.
Well, it's about 100 feet that way. As he points directly towards where it's coming from, probably.
You hear a loud crash. The sound of something slamming into brick and collapsing a portion of this. As you watch again, it stays focused now, the locate object, as it comes closer, 50 feet. You can hear something thundering down the tunnel towards you, 40 feet. 30 feet. Now you can make out, those of you who have dark vision, you can make out the shape of something, and then you realize that it doesn't have a shape at all. It's almost amorphous. And it's flowing down the tunnel towards you at a rapid pace.
That doesn't feel fun.
In front of it,
Nothing has felt fun since we got here.
I'm gonna be straight up with you. Nothing is fun.
I came here to have a good time, and I'm not having a good time.
We just need a vacation after this. That's what this is.
When this is all said and done, can we go down to the islands again and kick back with a few drinks?
Yeah.
Being chased in front of this wall of ooze, you see a woman. She appears half elven, and she seems to be running. You can see her face seems to be that in terror. As she sees you, she continues to run, but you notice that the amorphous shape slows a bit. She looks panic-stricken, but otherwise unharmed.
Satiel's gonna sort of focus. Is the blip coming from the woman or from the thing chasing her?
From the thing chasing her.
Okay. He just sighs like, okay, it's in that thing.
I'm sure she has a name.
No, not the woman, the...
How far is she? Like 30 feet? She's still running towards us, isn't she?
Yeah, but you can see that even though they're maintaining their distance from one another, she's like 20 feet out from you, and it's like about 10 feet behind her, like it's about to catch up to her at any second. And they're maintaining that pace as they're coming towards you.
Any idea what that is?
Do I have any idea what that is?
No.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
No, you do not.
I kind
Is
of figured as much.
I would be gosh damn impressed.
Is it like those yuck behind her just kind of blocking the whole thing?
Have you ever seen The Blob, like the old movie? It fills up the pipe behind her and it's forcing its way down.
Next question. Is this thing full of teeth and mouths?
No.
Okay.
No,
So
it's not. What is it called?
It's not one of
a
those
mouthing. What is it? Mouthing
gibbering horror.
gibbering horror thing. No.
Yeah, that was my first thought.
Nope, it is not one of those.
Huh. Okay.
If
Interesting.
it wants to eat me alive, I will end its career from the inside out.
I mean, more power to you, but I prefer you in its career from the outside first.
If I'm inside, its problems are going to be a little bit more dramatic. He's gonna have a bad stomach ache.
So are yours, probably.
I mean,
She screams as she closes within 10 feet to you. And you can see that she looks absolutely terrified. Let's see. There's 6 of you here, aren't there?
Yeah.
Zora's gonna try and grab her if she tries to run through us. 'Cause I assume we're fighting this thing.
Probably.
Probably.
Zora tries to grab her. Can I just stand in her way?
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
Uh,
Running from the thing when I'm permanently at half speed.
Hold on. Hold
That's
on. We're going to go Zora, Satil, Ezra, Mello, Tangaroa, Zastari. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rolling the die. That is 6. That is Zastari. Zastari, I need you to make a saving throw for me, please.
Yeah?
Well,
I
while
need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
while the lady was going by, Zora was gonna try Fey Presence to try and charm her to keep her.
Okay, on the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that a saving throw of some sort?
10-foot cube, DC 18, wisdom.
Oh, by the way, fair warning, our stream just got subsumed by an ad.
Yeah, we know. It's a stupid Twitch
Okay, there we
feature. We are aware.
Yeah.
There's
Better
nothing
be
we
getting
can
some
do about
revenue.
it.
That's all I'm saying.
Nope, we don't get any revenue from that.
Cool.
Stupid. Anyway, what is this effect against?
It is against a. It is not a charm.
Okay.
It is a. Well, let me double check and see because I want to make sure. It is an enchantment magic. So.
Okay, well that doesn't necessarily rule out it being charm.
It is not charm though.
Okay, well that's a 17.
Ooh, just missed it. So let's start by resolving Zora's thing. Zora, what does your spell effect do? What does your ability do?
It is just Fey Presence. Once per short rest, as an action, you can cause each creature in a 10-foot cube from you to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 18, or become charmed or frightened by you, your choice, until the end of your next turn. She's
Okay.
mostly just trying to be like, hold on, wait!
Okay. And you said it was a wisdom saving throw, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Wisdom DC 18.
Okay. I rolled an 18 on the die, so 19 total.
Well, damn.
Your passive perception is a 16, no, 13?
21.
Oh, yours is a 21, that's right. You're one of the ones that has the really high one. I need to send you a message.
Okay.
Also, while I'm sending said message to the player, you feel every muscle in your body tighten up as though you have no way of moving as you are held in place. Zastari, the spell hold person has been cast on you.
This bitch. Unbelievable. Fuck.
And with that, let's roll initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
Cap, I'm just gonna say you bastard.
I love you too.
Well, now I'm curious.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Zora's gonna yell it out whenever it comes her turn.
Oh, yeah? And take some shots?
Ow. I hit my hand on my desk. I guess that's karma.
That's what you get.
You bastard.
I think I know what this is now.
If it's making me say you bastard,
Yeah. There's very few things that make you go, you bastard. I think I know what this is now.
Man, that really hurt. I smacked my fingers on the edge of my desk. I'm like, ah.
Cat,
Okay.
question. Well, given technical rules for initiative, is that considered a skill check as well?
Technically it is. However, I am not going to make you roll disadvantage on that. So
I just wanted to double check.
even though there's a technicality for it, but you know,
Gotcha.
I've punished you. I've punished you enough so far.
I've been rolling a disadvantage all night.
Wait.
We're gonna keep rolling a disadvantage all this battle.
Yeah, maybe not yet, but okay. So 20 or higher. Good job.
21.
21.
21. Okay, who's going first?
I'm matching Zora tonight.
To be twinsies, I'm assuming you have higher dexterity.
That's probably a safe bet.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Sorry, this is the wrong character sheet. Why am I here? Who is this man? 5.
You have a dex of 5? What? You're a monk.
Plus 5. It's a 20.
I know. I'm being a butt. Don't mind me.
He's trying to be funny. He's trying to be funny.
I'm bad
All
at
right.
it. You should know this.
15 or higher. All right. What did you two have? What did you three have?
17.
17.
16.
Okay.
Okay, so Sarah and I switched places, apparently. She's matching V, and I'm matching Molly.
All right. So Tangaroa or Satil, who's going first?
I'll say Tangaroa because Satil's dead tired.
Okay. All right. And Mello.
11.
Hey, man, you were above a 10. Unfortunately, I rolled exceptionally well. As she comes into your midst, you can see, and I'll go ahead and give the secret away now that she's this close, they can see it. There is a tendril that is stretching from her back all the way and attaches to the ooze as it starts to move
You little
down.
I hate these things.
Yeah. Well. What are you gonna do?
I mean, there's very few things that make Sarah go, "You bastard!" And I was sitting there going, maybe it was a gibbering whore, maybe running a terror, fine. And then you messed her, she goes, "You bastard!" I'm like, this is a damn Ooblix.
And it is going to make multiple attacks on the target that it held. As it moves within 10 feet, and ooh, this is nasty.
I mean, can we not?
No, this is D&D. What are you talking about?
All right.
All right. The first attack is going to be an 18.
When hold person is active, can I use a reaction? Yes or no?
You can't do anything.
Of course I can't.
So the first hit is going to be. Do you have any resistances to? You don't have any resistance to that. Boop, 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 boop. $13 bludgeoning and 12 psychic, so a total of 25 points of damage on the first hit. My next roll was a natural 20. Let's see, 13, 16, 22, 32 points of damage for bludgeoning, and an additional 15 psychic damage from that attack. As it moves in close, I need Mello. I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
All right. Oh, not 20.
Okay. Something tries to ebb into your mind. You feel as though whatever is happening to you is trying to drain every bit of who you are, but you quickly shake your head and fight off that attack.
That's just too much me here.
That's just... You hear a retching sound from behind you. All right, and that is its turn. Now we're going to go back to our order here, and next up is Tenza.
I don't know what it is, but I guess I'm gonna hit it.
You absolutely can. It has hit points and everything.
Vicious. Also, I will remember for this fight, you do have Sentinel. Because I keep forgetting that. I have not used it once this entire campaign, I think. But I have it. I'm gonna use it.
Okay.
I have given 2 characters this now. I keep forgetting about it. Okay. I'm gonna hit it and twice with my hands, and then once possibly with psychic. Huh. Huh.
I just
22, 28,
that hit.
30.
Those all hit.
30 is a nat 20.
Oh, nat 20.
Ezra's dice like me tonight, and it's scaring me because I'm gonna fail a saving throw that I need to pass.
It's not Ezra, it's Tenzin's dice.
Yeah, that's true. It is Tenzin's
It's true.
now.
It's not Ezra's anymore. I guess I've been calling it by the wrong name.
Yeah.
Okay. So those two. Okay, it's a D8. Sorry. This is for the nat 20. I'm gonna die tonight. My dice are being too nice to me. 21 damage on the nat 20.
Okay.
6 damage on that other hit. And the psychic hit, I'm going to invoke fear, try and make it go away from me as I'm up in its grill space. And that...
What's my DC?
I don't believe it's a DC. The DC is... Wait.
There has to be a DC.
There is a DC. I'm just dumb.
Does a slime have grill space?
It's going to. When
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
done
10-foot diameter right now.
Fair.
Yeah.
Where is...
Slimes have no facing. It's all of its facing.
Yeah.
Percent grill space.
I'm giving it a grill space with my claws.
360-degree grill space.
If it works, it works.
I can't remember what the DC is because it's not in my sheet because it doesn't like doing that on this.
Do you know what type of save? You're not sure, do you?
Hold on, I know where it is.
Mhm.
I just have to go back
All right.
into the thing. All I know is I also do psychic damage.
Is it
for
a
that
spell?
dice. No, it's part of my class. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 psychic damage.
Okay.
I have to find the other sheet. I always forget to bring that up, and that's my own fault, and I apologize for that. Where has it gone?
Where
There
have
it
all
is.
my character sheets gone? Where?
Invoke terror. There we go. Wisdom saving throw. Or become frightened until the end of my next turn. Can I please have where the DC is, though?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I get. You can impose one of the following effects on the target. It doesn't... I can't remember how to make the DC. I can't remember what it is.
Oh.
I know we talked about it.
Typically, it's going to be 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your, as a monk, probably your wisdom modifier.
Efficiency bonus is... So it will be 20. No, 8. That's not 20. That's... I'm a liar. It'll be 18.
It's like, damn, that's high.
Sorry, it'll be an 18.
And I make it I ain't afeard of you.
Womp. I tried.
Womp womp.
Wah, wah.
18 on the die. So, however you did, as you punch it, it just kind of wobbles like jello, just whoop, 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 whoop. And the psychic damage actually seems to have an effect on it. All right, Zora.
She is gonna, like, it's attached to the lady, and like shoot at the tendril with. She's thinking it needs more than just Eldritch Blast, Force, Smoosh, so she's gonna cast Firebolt.
Okay.
Alright. And that is a 23 to hit the tendril.
That hits the tendril.
And 23 damage on the tendril.
The tendril itself seems to have no damage taken to it.
There's a couple really loud curses in Sylvan.
The slimy tether has taken no damage. God. I called it a tendril because the thought of a slimy tether just kind of sent chills down my spine. All right. Zora, anything else you'd like to do? A bonus action or anything?
She will. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna hex it.
Okay.
I should have done that
It
first.
is now. And
But
you are hexing the creature, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The gelatinous mold of doom.
Gelatinous bastard. All right. After Zora is Tangaroa.
Okay, well, I'm gonna fucking go up and hit it with my flail. And
Okay,
I'll
so you
find
move.
it if I hit it.
All right. So go ahead and roll to attack, please.
Yeah. I want to be, like, beside Tenza, though.
Well, both of you, since the diameter of this area is only 10 feet, it's basically you two are right up front now. And side by side, and it's right there. It didn't have to move up. It has a reach on its pseudopods, so bap, bap. And there we go.
All right. Oh, 21 to hit.
21 definitely hits him.
Woohoo! And while I'm at it, I'm gonna smite it.
Go for it.
I love smiting, don't mind me. I'll be over here on my other side of the camera, praising the sun. What?
Oh god. Okay. Alright, so first the weapon itself is 8 bludgeoning.
Okay.
And the smite is... Ooh, it's actually not bad. 13, 14, 21.
Okay. Adding is so much easier than subtracting, so. All right. What I've got is I got the maximum. I got the HP written down, and then I'm adding it up till it hits the maximum. So it's like your damage added up. When it equals this number, he's dead. Okay, so with that being said, we're moving right along. Is that your turn, Tangaroa?
Yes.
Satil.
Okay. What do I want to do? We've got 2 big people in the front. Means you can't do anything crazy with it.
I mean, you can.
I mean, I can, but then I'd be hitting them too, and that'd be a bad plan.
You'd be begging for forgiveness later. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe. You know what? I know what I'll do. Because I've been taunting V with this all game, and I've yet to do it once. I'm going to cast Haste on Tenza.
Okay.
And I'm just going to make sure to back up 15 feet. So that's my maximum movement right now.
All right.
And
Tenzo.
that'll be my turn.
You have the attack action, bonus action, and then you can make an additional attack. Remember, it's not take the attack action again, it's making an additional attack.
So it's
So-
3 attacks and then using a key to make a 4th? Is that
That
just so
is-
my brain?
You have 1, 2, because you have multi-attack at this level,
Yes.
you should take 2.
Yep.
Your bonus action attack, or if you do flurry of blows, is 4, and then the haste gives you 5. Also, your armor class is up by 2.
Me still fucking up how many hits I can actually take.
Also, your movement speed now each round is 100 feet.
Delicious.
Yeah, you can move 100 feet. Your armor class is up by 2. However, when the spell ends, you are going to be stunned for 1 round.
Okay.
Which is, you get off easy compared to the old days.
I'm gonna ping pong around this tunnel. I'm excited.
Yeah. Just remember it has a 10-foot reach.
Like I said,
Uh,
I just love that widening of the eyes. Like, I've been taunting V with this for months.
all right.
Yeah.
Is that the end of Satil's turn? Zastari. Give me a saving throw at the end of your turn. It's a wisdom save again.
That's an 11.
I'm sorry, what was the total number again?
11.
Okay. Unfortunately, you are still held. All right. Mellow.
I'm gonna see if I can stab it. Gonna take my Vorpal's longsword, see what happens.
Unfortunately, you don't have room to get to it.
Oh, I don't have room.
You have 2 big guys right in front of you.
Forgot. I thought. Sorry. Thought
Unless one of them wants to move away and take an attack of opportunity.
I'm gonna say no.
You're going to say no on that? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well then, I'm gonna go ahead and attempt some synaptic static.
All right.
It is a 17 intelligence save.
Okay. All right, give me just 1 second here. All right. 26 total.
Well, you take half as much, but half as much of. Come on. 29. So, what? 14.
Yes.
Round up to 15.
Yeah, you're right. No, 14. All right. Is that your turn?
I'm gonna give my bardic inspiration to Zastari, who will hopefully get some use out of it.
All right, Zastari. You have Bardic Inspiration on your next turn, and we are back up to the top of the turn order, and it is my turn. Hang on just 1 second here, guys. I forgot I need to do something real quick. Okay, succeed. Succeeds. Oh yeah, we're good. Succeed and succeed. Okay. Give me just a second here. Okay. So we're gonna repeat. So you're held, and he is just going to try to reach out and tag you again.
Cap.
Yeah.
In reaction to that first attack, you don't get a saving throw against this. I'm going to use Temporal Shunt.
What is Temporal Shunt?
Its turn immediately ends as it's cast out of space-time until the start of its next turn.
And there's no saving throw against it?
Nope.
That seems broken.
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait, wisdom save. My bad.
I was
just
like,
bought an attack save.
that is
Yeah.
broken as
Yeah, it's a wisdom save.
What's my DC?
18.
18. All right. It is it is displaced out of space and time.
Mm-hmm.
Until the end. Until when?
Which must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or vanish, being thrown to another point in time and causing the attack to miss or the spell to be wasted. At the start of its next turn, the target reappears where it was or in the closest unoccupied space. The target doesn't remember you casting the spell or being affected by it.
Okay, so when he is cast away, you can't attack him either.
Right.
Because he's not there. However, you still get to make your wisdom saving throw. I'm going to run through it quickly. Is there anything while it disappears from your sight? Is there anything that you want to do? We'll start with as a reaction, huh? That's awesome. Tenza, anything you want to do? It's just gone. It just disappeared for a moment. You're muted.
You all have 6 seconds to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah. After hearing that, Zora says, did she say it's the woman or it's the slime?
So the woman's got a tendril between. Pretty much, there's a tendril.
Quick question: Would the woman be gone too?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
so it's all gone.
All of it disappears.
Basically, Tenza just wants to know who his target is. If the target's the woman, he'll change his position so he can hit her. But if it's still the slime, still go for the slime.
If that woman disappeared with it, she's a part of it.
I just want to know who to punch.
That.
I'll stay where I am. I'll just get ready to punch it when it returns.
Okay, so you're going to hold your action to punch when it returns. Okay, you'll get a single attack off of that because it uses basically like your reaction. Okay, Zora, what are you going to be doing?
Holding Firebolt to attack.
Firebolt when it attacks, and what are you attacking?
The main body, not the
main body? All right. And then we're going to say, Tangaroa, what are you doing when it attacks? Or when it returns, I'm sure.
Well, I'll hit it with my flail, and I don't know if I can smite it. As a held, I don't know if I can do that.
You can. I'll let you do that. Yeah, what's up?
Question, does that remove my hex?
No. Because it didn't lose its concentration, and it's not on a different plane of existence, so it's not like it breaks it because of that.
Just making sure.
Yeah, it's just displaced out of time for a moment. Okay. So hit and smite when it comes back. Satil, what are you doing on your turn?
His owl.
Whenever it returns.
Yeah, his owl's going to fly up and sort of like be sort of flapping next to Tenza and Tangaroa, and he's going to ready using the touch action through his familiar Shocking Grasp.
Okay, Shocking Grasp when it reappears. Sistari, give me another wisdom saving throw, please.
Bardic Inspiration.
Yes, you do have the inspiration. So, there you go. You get advantage on the roll and a d6. So awesome.
Yeah. Is it not a d8 at this level, Steve?
Oh, I'm sorry. What is your inspiration die? I'm so used to
10 at this level.
It's a 10.
Yeah. Is it
D10.
10? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nat 20.
You are no longer held.
Oh, thank God.
However, that's the end of your turn.
It's okay. She's big mad.
All right, Mellow.
I'm going to cast Cloud of Daggers where it was. At 7th level.
Oh, Jesus, man.
Cloud of Daggers things can be in its space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So it doesn't
Literally
count.
in its space.
Yeah, it doesn't count as an occupied. Well, thing is, if it counted as an occupied space, then the ooze would suddenly be on one of the sides of that Cloud of Daggers when it came back.
Picturing daggers flying
God.
around a jello mold.
So 4d4 at first level, and then 2d4 for each slot above second level.
It is
Ow!
For each slot above second level. So, I'm sorry, 44 at second level, and then so you're looking at so 44. This would be third level is 2d4.
14.
Yeah. Yikes! How many d4?
14.
Let's see. Third, so 2,
4, 5, 6.
4,
Take my word for it. I'm
6.
taking D&D
No,
Beyond.
yeah. So that's 10
Yeah,
additional 10d4. So yeah, 14.
yeah, an additional
Ow.
10d4, so 14d4. Woof. And it reappears. Woof.
Everybody.
Everybody. So let's go ahead and do this. If you're doing an attack roll, please resolve your attack roll.
25 to hit.
25 hits.
29 to hit.
29 hits.
30 with a natural 20.
That hits.
18.
9 damage from me. Sorry.
Wait. What was your to hit? Sorry, I'm not getting damage yet. Just your to hit.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's it. What was your to hit? I didn't hear it. Yeah,
Molly?
you. Q.
25.
25. Molly, what did you have to hit? A 21?
18.
18 to hit? That hits. Okay. So, everybody hit.
Oh, something I just noticed. D&D
Uh-huh.
Beyond, if you roll a natural 20, it automatically applies the double on the damage roll. I didn't notice that before.
Yep. All right.
Cool.
Everybody, give me your damage, including Mellow. Do you have that many d4s to roll?
I have D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
21 fire damage.
21 lightning damage.
9.
Okay. 21, 9. Okay.
Also,
10,
sorry. Go ahead.
10 bludgeoning, 19 smiting.
So 29 total?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mellow.
40.
40. Cool. Give me a moment while I do all the math here.
As an additional note, if it survives, it can't take reactions till the start of its next turn.
42, 51, 80, 120 damage in that alone. Plus the damage that it had before, as it just reappears. It is ripped apart by daggers as all of you bring in your weapons and your various spells being cast against it. And it just explodes all over the walls and it goops down and drips. The woman just, her form falls apart and she just kind of like falls to the ground. As she is no longer, as it is no longer alive. And you're kind of covered in a bit of jelly.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna.
I was
just
gonna say, if I'm already
walk
covered,
forward.
let me go walk them through it for whatever we're looking for.
It looks like half of a sword blade.
They're lying in and amongst the muck. You can see a piece of what looks like metal. Even though it looks like it's been sheared and broken, there's no rust on it. It hasn't accumulated any oxidization, no rust or anything else like that. It's covered in Elder Obelix goop, but yeah, it seems
My
to be
bastard brain is going, lick the blade? But also I won't.
Ugh.
That's a good way to
Jelly.
take acid damage.
I just want you to know that while it did a lot of damage, because it does 4d6 bludgeoning and 2d6 psychic damage, that's not the real painful one. The real painful one is the wisdom saving throw that I had Mello make. If you failed, if you failed, you take 8d10 psychic damage. You become memory drained until you finish a short or long rest or until you receive greater restoration or heal. While memory drained, you roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from any ability check or attack roll it makes. And each time that you are the target of the memory drain beyond the first, the die size increases by 1, meaning that the d4 becomes a d6, the d6 will become a d8, and so on until it becomes a d20. At that point, the target becomes unconscious for 1 hour. The effect then ends.
Yep.
I'm glad I made that save.
Uh-huh.
You made that save too. All right. You now have this missing section of the blade, and as you bring it over and hand it to Satil, you combine the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Lying them down, it's like watching two very strong magnets attach. There's just a shing. As you do, there's a reverberation that makes the whole entirety of the sewer shudder and shake. Pieces of debris start to fall. Satil, you feel yourself being made whole, but at the same time being torn asunder.
Uh-huh.
You all watch as the blade emits light and rises up, point towards the sky. Reflexively, as though you're not controlling your own movements, you grab the hilt, the handle of the sword. Immediately, the entire sewer is bathed in radiant lights, so much so that you all avert your gaze lest you be blinded by it. You can't control it. Your wings unfurl. There is a hum about this entirety of this space. A voice speaks in your mind. Speaks isn't the right term. It thunders, threatening to shake your skull apart as she says to you, "Well done. Well done indeed." It booms and echoes and rattles through your head. You clench your teeth, and it shakes them. A lot of you can see him gritting his teeth. Those of you who dare to look at the brightness that is where his form is. Immediately, you are shot skyward, burrowing through the dirt and the stone, leaving behind this hole that's there. I need everybody in the sewer tunnel to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
If you're within 10 feet of me, or 15 feet of me, you get +4.
A D4 or just automatically +4?
Just +4.
Automatically +4.
Cool.
Paladins are fun, yo.
Still don't think it's going to help me, but cool.
Zora, how'd you do?
So a natural 1, plus a
DM
2,
inspiration, don't forget.
plus a 4, which is a 7.
You do have DM inspiration.
Okay, let's see if this helps at all.
Well, you literally can't do worse than a 1, dear.
A 2.
Tell me you didn't roll a 2.
I'm telling you I rolled a 2.
Okay.
So I have now an 8.
Oh my god.
The story, how'd you do?
Oh, I got a 25.
B, you're stealing Sarah's dice luck.
Q?
I was about to say, with my 31, can I help Sora?
No.
Like, if she's gonna go flying, can I just catch her? Sorry, no, I rolled a 17, have a +4, and my dex save is a +10.
Okay, so yep, so you're fine. Zastari, what did you have again? I'm sorry.
25. Rolled an 11
You're-
plus 10 plus 4.
You're fine. Tangaroa,
17.
okay, and Mello.
16.
All right. The only one that's going to take full damage is unfortunately Zora. Those of you who have evasion, of course, you're not taking any. Let's see.
Say evasion.
You do.
1,
You and I both have evasion.
8, 1, 29, 30, 32 points of damage. Those of you who don't have evasion, that's 16 points of bludgeoning damage as the tunnel collapses. Those of you with evasion are able to narrowly dodge out of the way of the debris as it falls down around you. You were shot. Zora's like, this see. You shoot out into the sky and you stand facing two gigantic titans.
Mhm.
Amid them, you see the very familiar dog-like look of Ganneman. He turns his head to the left and to the right as though he stares at you. And when he speaks, even though it's a whisper, it booms through the air. Who are you? You're new? I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Gonna do some DM inspiration for that.
I just want to say before we get to, I'm not using evasion. I'm taking just the half damage. I'll use it later, maybe.
Evasion's not.
You can use it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, evasion's constant.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not you have a certain amount of uses. It's literally you just dodge your way out of everything because
You're just that awesome.
fuck that shit. You're out.
So, yeah. DM inspiration made that so much better than the 10 it was. 22.
You feel a sudden loss and a rending of your own spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And for a minute, you find yourself falling. You flap your wings, but it's almost useless. As you look up, you can see standing there, her hair billowing behind her. She's wearing robes, a beautiful outfit. It's almost blinding. It's so beautiful to look upon. And she brandishes the sword that you just spent all the time putting together. That's the last thing you remember seeing before you black out.
Question.
Yes.
Do we see this from where we are or no?
You can make it out as you kind of pull yourself out of the rubble. You can look up and see, like, very small, there's a figure, and the next thing you know, there's just, boom, he's falling, and there's this bright light, and you can make out in this halo of just radiant, beaming energy, a form of a woman. Her wings are out beside her. You can see that they're white. They're pristine white and tipped in each one of them. They're tipped in gold. And not gold coloring, literally gold. And you see a form falling. Wings look broken and useless as he's trying to fall. Yeah.
Can Zora cast Fly and make a beeline? And then within 60 feet, would she be able to make Feather fall?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
That's what she's doing.
All right.
No words, just gone.
Q. You are suddenly unable to move or take any action as the haste spell is immediately just lost. You zoom up and catch him. You cast Featherfall as you watch his body slow to a descent. His wings are, which you've seen them before, and they were lustrous and full. They look bedraggled. The feathers look splayed and broken and just like they've been dipped in some sort of oil or something, and they just kind of look useless as they fall.
Okay.
And his form, you can see he is completely unconscious.
She is going to do best to kind of like catch and like glide her Featherfall to like somewhere building wise. Because I
Yeah.
don't. Could she make it back to where they came out of, or no?
I'll say you can. Yeah, I'll say you can do that. That's fine. We're not in like combat, so I'm not worried about you. Really taking a look for it. There is another sound like a crack of thunder that peals throughout the entirety of the city. Above you, you watch as there's like a ripple of noise just peels out across things. Anything that's tall or enough to where the collision happened, you can see it being shifted. The two gigantic titans sort of shift in their place before righting themselves. You watch as angels and devas are just thrown out of the sky for a moment before righting themselves. Any demon that was flying is immediately like cast about. As the peal of thunder echoes out, you can see Melisandre has the sword up against the bubble that Ganymed is in. You can't make out his features from here, but the brightness that it was so hard to look upon is faded, and you can see that she holds it against the bubble, like buried in it. There's another crack of thunder as you watch and something collides. You can hear the sound of ringing metal on metal. And again, there's just that boom that seems to shake everything, laying buildings flat that are tall enough there, sending debris flying. Anything that's not nailed down is just flung to the ground. Some of the angels are flung all the way down, some of the devils as well. And there's another crack of thunder and another and another. And it's so much and coming so fast and booming so loud that you're afraid that it's going to just shake the very foundation of the world apart. There is one more peal. And she stands, and you can see she's clutching him by the front of his robes. She starts to light and lands near you. She turns and her eyes blaze with radiant fire, this white hot fire out of her eyes. She puts him down on the ground. She walks over to him. Disdain dripping from every word, she says, "Imposter," and then buries the blade slowly into him. There's one more crack of thunder that is so loud that you're sure it's going to rupture your eardrums. You are all laid flat on your back as energy is released and it levels, leaving a crater around all of you. Just everything is just blown back. Where Ganymed's form was is nothing but tattered robes. Melisandre looks at her sword and looks at the fallen form of your ally. She sheathes it, and the difference in the light is that of night and day. Like being out in the sun when suddenly it's covered by clouds and there's a shadow cast. She strides slowly. You can hear the metal in her boots clink off of the stone. She kneels down beside the form of Satil and puts a hand to his head. You were such a good vessel. There is so much wrong in this world. But it's okay. And you watch as she soothes his hair back. You come to, your eyes open, and you can see her face, her voice you know so well. She smooths your hair back again, wiping a smudge from your face. There is so much wrong in this world, but it's okay. I will make everything right, the way I was before. Before my sword was broken, and before the veil was placed upon this world. I will make it right. She kisses you on the forehead, and it burns, and it seems to restore you at the same time. Any hit point loss, any exhaustion, anything else like that is wiped clean.
Okay.
She stands and she looks at the group and she says, we're at a crossroads. If you try to stand against me, well, it is not an action I would suggest. But you can certainly try. Or you can let me take over and rule this world like the leader that I should be, making unto this place a paradise where there is no suffering, there is no hardship, a utopia, a place where all will bow, but know that I am a good and just ruler. The decision is yours to make. Choose wisely. And she steps back.
So are you the reason that the Illithid sealed everything?
Those meddlers thought that I was a danger to this world, and so they buried it, all the magic. I merely waited for the veil, for someone to make a decision as simple as a crossbow shot. And she looks pointedly at Zastari. For the right group of people to come along, for a willing vessel who was merely fetching about for who they were, as her eyes fall on Satil. A lost child. All of this came together so perfectly. Although I will say, and she looks over at Zora, you were a bit of an outlier.
I get that a lot.
I knew that if I pulled my strings perfectly, I puppeted all of you into this wonderful thing. The poor boy whose mother was adrift all the time, and whose father was lost to him. A warrior looking for acceptance from someone. And the tag-along, who would encourage others, and yet always wonder about himself. A motley crew and exactly what I needed. None of you even questioned it. Find the sword. Why fight me now, when I could make all of you my seneschals, my envoys, my generals, and together we will rule this world. What do you say?
Rule it how?
By making those things that are wrong right.
There's a
Getting rid of evil.
You'd have to kill everyone then.
Not if they capitulate. Not if they bend the knee and worship me.
And the other gods? What about them?
When was the last time that they got involved in anything? Even with an imposter in their midst, they did nothing. What use have they? If they want to get involved, so be it. Look how powerful you all are together. Imagined if that was backed by me. How much more power will you have? All you need to do is acquiesce. Accept the position. Say yes. Zastari, no more would children be forced to bear the brunt of their parents' desires. Be framed by wicked and corrupt people. Betrayed by those they trusted the most. Tenza, to be here in this world where you belong, instead of being shunted away and hidden like a disrespectful child or some sort of shame. Tangaroa, what greater warlord is there than a general in my army, war chief of your people? You would come back as a hero to them. Zora, finding the mysteries of this world and beyond, I could even break the pact that you have. Mello, I will make you a king among men. Satiel, my seneschal, my right hand. And with that, she takes her right hand off of the sword and offers it out to you. Merely take my hand, and it will all be yours.
No.
Do you all feel this way?
Zastari is going to take a chance, and I'm going to use message to send a message to Tangaroa.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's very simply, I agree, but we cannot fight her right now. I am much too injured. And I have no idea how Tenza is feeling after whatever it was that Satiel gave him. For now, be complacent.
What about
Can I
you?
respond? Wait, can I respond to message, or is that not?
Yeah, you can
Mhm.
respond to it, and there's no word limit for message. It's just it has to be within 120 feet, but we're literally standing right next to each other. But using message because then technically nobody can overhear me. So
Well, I mean, you're whispering is what it is.
the only person who can hear it is the person who's the recipient of the message.
They can't make out what you're saying, but they can hear you whispering,
Mhm.
or like you're like if you have a sibilance in there, they
Yeah.
can hear that.
I will say back, being complicit is what she wants.
And if we try and take her on now, we're all gonna die, and then where does that leave the world? Sometimes you have to lay in wait and plan. Call it the long con, if you will.
Tenza.
Sorry. For me, it's I don't care if I'm forward or not. Whatever it does and it takes to let Ezra live. He lives, I live.
The cruelty that this world has shown you and Ezra, the reason that you are here. Imagine it all gone. Simply say yes. Tenza is shoved down into that place where Tenza goes. Not of his own accord. Something has pushed and switched that around. Ezra is standing there. I assume Ezra knows what's going on. He has the ability to like be aware of what's going on.
Pull it back like really quick, but it's just kind of like a ha, I'm in danger.
In danger. Ezra, the cruelty that they've shown you. Imagine it. No one has to suffer that ever again. Simply take my hand, child. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Lot to be afraid of. I want my mommy.
And we shall bring her. And she will be safe. You have my word.
I feel like I just got thrust into a lot of things and I don't understand. He's like looking around at everyone. His posture has shifted back. He's like slouched. His hands are like nervously clenching in and out.
I go beside him and I take one hand and I look at them and I bang the butt end of my spear onto the ground. Then again, in a rhythm.
And you start breaking out into a haka.
In full awkward.
He just breaks out into full on. Doing the face and everything.
Yeah.
She seems nonplussed by this new thing that you're doing. I see. You are adamant then, Tangaroa? This is the path that you want to choose.
My stance is clear.
So I'm just gonna kind of interrupt. This is kind of something big that we would have to decide very quickly, and I mean, we're just us. Could we have some time to discuss it, perhaps?
She waves her hand, and as she does, everything, the flames around you, everything just sort of stops moving. And she says, "Take all the time you need."
Oh, jeez. Okay. She was mostly hoping, like, yeah, not stopping time, but okay.
Okay, not what I meant. Thank you, not what I meant.
I'm not gonna argue with the lady.
Is all of it a lie?
Which part?
Everything.
No.
I relied on you. You were, other than Dad, you were the only real parent that I had. Was I'm just a tool for your reawakening?
I am fond of you, hence the reason that you still stand. Despite, and she looks at Tangaroa pointedly, some of your insolence. It was not all a lie. But yes, you were the doorway through which I re-entered. I told you not to trust everyone.
Didn't think that'd be you.
The hardest lessons hurt the most.
What even am I then? So just some life you crafted and put together? Was I never born?
No, you were born. Your mother and father, unfortunately, were forced to give you away. But no, you are a person. You are more than just a vessel. But you were so eager to search for answers and accept them wherever they fell. It was easy. That is until Barak came along. I thought he might cause an issue. Luckily, he got distracted elsewhere. I will be frank with all of you. None of you will stand against me. I have no qualms about spilling your blood like so many others on this ground. Accept or perish. There, the decision should be fairly easy at this point.
What would being your seneschal mean?
Sorry. I looked over at Twitch and Otter's like, can we form a parish instead? It's like, we're just going to make a church out of this whole thing.
Yeah. That's basically what she's doing.
Being my seneschal means carrying out my orders. Going forth and making sure that those who are not in the right path are set upon the right one. Being my mouthpiece in places where I cannot be.
Weren't we already doing that?
So it should be a natural transition then. And she starts to look at Rezavati, or not Rezavati.
Nope.
Jesus, that's a different game altogether.
That is
She starts-
so long ago.
It's the same. It's like there's some same letters though. She looks at
It is.
Zastari.
She's breaking the fourth wall and just
Yeah,
looking
we're
at other
just-
games.
She's
I'm
looking at
not
other
playing
games.
my-
She's
I'm-
like brings a Yanti over. out of nowhere.
I miss
She looks
my
over at
ranger.
Zastari. What does your other mind think?
I don't know, what does Raziel think?
No. To be honest, she'd never pick on me, would she, love? I don't think I'd ever be wielded by an angel. Or a goddess if she was.
Nope. But if I worked for her, you'd get all the bloodshed you want. Guarantee you.
That's...
But then again, I did promise you to kill a god.
Well, there's a god. You want a kiss on it? And he, moves in close. You know what that means.
Yep.
Just, I'll take care of it from here. Huh. Can't guarantee what your form will look like on the other side, love.
Well, just be aware. I didn't fare too well during our encounter in the sewers. So, may have to use some of those stored charges.
Say the word and it's done.
She's gonna take a glance at Tangaroa.
Mm-hmm.
I will not kneel.
I'm starting to see a disturbing pattern. Zora?
This world is true good and true evil. We're all just kind of a mishmash of both. You'd be ruling an empty land.
So I'll take that as a no. Mellow, do you too wish to turn away from me?
I am already a king.
If you spent your inspiration, get it back, because that was just ballsy as hell.
Christ.
I could barely hear you. What did you say?
I am already a king.
Yeah.
Long may he reign.
Yep.
Cap
let's-
sent you a question.
Okay, sorry, I'll look at that. And then she looks at Ezra once more.
Can Senza come back now? Or has she forced him back enough to a point where he's going to have to claw his way back? That's my question. Because Ezra is still in that sort of panic of everything.
You... Just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Tenza is not available at the moment, but Ezra is trying to recede to that place where Tenza can come. But it's like looking across a channel of water at a distant island. You know he's not gone, but right now he's out of reach.
Got his voicemail.
His voicemail. The voicemail reads, snatch this lady's weave.
She's sus.
She's sus. True imposter. I'm voting red.
Isn't she technically white?
I'm voting white.
I mean, her hair's red.
I'm voting gold. I don't know.
There you go.
I'm voting gold. It's kind of a shaky, no.
Such a timid thing, but so brave. She looks at Satil, her eyes fall on you, and she see them flare once more. And then they subside, and you can see her eyes are gold. And she looks at you, and the harshness from the radiant light seems to fade, and she is bathed in almost a motherly glow as she looks at you. I've known you the longest, and I've cared for you. I've made sure that you were well. Will you also turn me aside as your allies have? And fall with them?
How would you rule? Would it be benevolent, or would you care for the people you ruled?
Of course. I wish for nothing but the good of all.
I wish for that too. He'll look up and look her dead in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Say, he'll put one hand on the sword on his waist. And I wish that the veil that was sundered to break you would be reformed.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that again?
He said that I wish that the veil that was sundered to break you be reformed.
The sword flares hot under your hand, and you hear a shattering sound. There is a sound like any you've ever heard before. It sounds like a hole being punched through leather. There is a moment where all of your heads start to split and they hurt, and then it subsides. You find yourselves staring up at the sky. You sit up and look around, and you see yourself at the base of a large bowl, like maybe what was once a caldera. The town around you seems to be lived in, but mostly vacant. A few people tentatively step forward. You can see that their leader has a head that's bald. His skin is pale. He steps forward and he says, "A decision was made." Before you, in the center of the town, is a tree of white plumage and white trunk. Standing in front of it, you see a weathered old knight holding the hand of a young girl. He looks down at her and says, "It looks like the trip is ours to make again. I will take you home safely." There's a slight memory of something that should have been there, but it's not there. It's something that your mind is chasing down, but it's like a dream that's leaving you. It's fleeting at the last second, and you try to grab it. It's just out of your grasp. Onis are things of stories. They don't really exist. But you have the mask that represents the people that you once that believes in these Onis, these demons of power. The mask that you wear represents the culture and the people that you are. Your dark skin has the tattoo showing your battle and your story told in the tapestry of your skin. Your fiery hair is literally hair. It's just a wonderful color. An auburn with an orange in it. The star, your balance is still there, but the pointed ears of your heritage seem like a dream that was long ago. Sora, you don't remember how it was that you got here, but these people are familiar to you. The five of you look around thinking there should have been a sixth. There should have been someone that was here. But there isn't. There's only a book. And all the book says is rituals and ancient rites. And it has a name, Satil, on it. The wizened old knight, the weathered old knight looks at you all and says, well, you're the vanguard. Time to go home. This journey is ended. We will return to Prestigio. Until the next time. He puts the girl up on the horse. Go ahead.
Zora's going to reach down and pick up the book.
All right. The knight picks the girl up and puts her on the horse before climbing up behind her. Well, let's go. He gives it a spur, and on he goes. Magic is stuff for fairy tales. So are elves and tritons and oni. As you're all returned back to the form where we started. That draws to a close, actually, the escorts. There was a sacrifice that was made. There was a question that was asked of me. And this is where improv really comes in. I had planned on making this at least 2 more episodes, maybe. But a question was asked, and it was a really good idea. He put his hand on the luck blade and burned both of the wishes to make it come true. The world and the adventure that you ever had was all a memory that fades over time. One of you or a couple of you jot down what you remember. They become best-selling books all around the world as fantasy novels. For the most part, you return back to your lives. Or maybe you adventure the world. Zora, what do you do with the book when you return to Prestigio, seeing that it is still this wonderful town of invention and things?
She has no idea why she's here, but something about that book feels important. She puts it in her bag and takes it with her and goes back to Pineheart.
All right. Zastari, what do you do?
I go home.
When you return home, your father has died. Your mother has been cast out. And the town is being run just as you left it. Or maybe you left it. Maybe it was, I don't. It's all so vague.
She returns home to become her brother's spy master, just like she had promised.
Ezra.
She has this slight memory of a suave individual that she spends the rest of her life trying to find.
Maybe she finds him. We'll talk about that later. Ezra.
Returning to the ship with Mom and Serafina and everyone, he kind of just like stops and looks at Tonga.
Mhm.
Perhaps we can travel together? Something feels like I ought to get to know you better.
I'm sure we will come across each other on the open seas.
I'd like that. But otherwise, it's back to the ship. It's back to getting my hands chewed up by Bite and pranking Ryleton with Dalt, training with Serafina, making
Back to
sure
the life.
back to the life. Does he?
Tangaroa. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Does he
No, go ahead.
remember? Would he have a feeling about the Oni or about the other men he met?
Again, like a fleeting dream.
I think he'd end up
Like
asking his mom about that again, about his dad at least.
And for the first time, for some reason, even though you've asked her before, this time she opens up and she tells you about a deal that was made so that the rest of the ship could leave, that they had to hold him there. But it was more along the lines of he had knowledge and tales of such that kind of like a Scheherazade, but where he was telling stories to keep them while the rest of them got away. But it sparks an interest in her to go return to the archipelagos and to seek out the keepers there to see if maybe, there's something that has changed and can be done. Tangaroa.
Well, I will return home. And I will let my father know of my travels and how I was a part of this group and the accomplishments that I had. And keep my... because now it is back in the closet. Keep it to myself.
Mellow.
Would I
How are you quieter than before?
really?
Yeah.
Closer to your face, maybe?
I haven't moved it. Alright, hang on.
Time to start yelling.
Right? Crap. Volume settings, volume settings, volume settings.
Go fund me for a mellow mic.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Who is this man?
Finally. Criminy.
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
All right.
If
No.
she'll let me, I'd like to travel and hopefully research the book with Zora. That seems, as she mentioned, important.
She would let you travel back to Pineheart with you. She would take far more convincing about the book. Something about the book feels important, and she doesn't know.
Well, two heads are better than one, and I come from a long line of researchers.
I don't even know how I got to this town.
feel like we might be able to find that ourselves together. Like pieces of a puzzle. Put them together and we finally see an image.
She'll just kind of shrug and shake her head and like it's pulling her hair kind of over the birthmark again. Just if you want to, I guess.
I will be no burden.
And their adventures continue across this world where magic is for fairy tales. Thank you all for tuning in for every episode of the Escorts as we draw this to a close. That being said, there will be a very short break. Look for going out soon a call for members of the next group. Now, I'm only taking 4 party members on this troop. It is going to be 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. It is going to be an interesting thing because there are restrictions to it. What I'm looking for the casting call. Not to ruin our fields trip, I'm sorry. What I'm going to be looking for the casting call is I want to see you in character, and I want to make sure that you've got framed behind you what your background will be. I want to make sure that it is not too busy, that there's not a whole lot going on. I want to make sure that your lighting looks good and that we've got a good frame on you. Some requirements are we will be playing in costume for those of you who would like to, and I will give you the setting. The setting will be the 1920s on Earth. Specifically, like 1918 to 1920. So, with that in mind, give me a short minute video or something along those lines of your character and get that out to me. I'll be posting those requirements again on our Twitter feed as well as in our Discord and things like that. So this will be starting pretty soon. I will give you just a little hint on what's going on because I've been keeping this so close to the chest. Thanks to the Voynich manuscript, which is what we call it here, on that Earth, it's actually called the Book Arcanum. It is actually the manuscript which allowed magic to be practiced by more than just a handed down word of mouth to word of mouth. Magic became a thing in the world, and the Earth was shaped differently. While there was travel and expansion, Europe in the 1900s is the leading power, with the UK being the kings of industry that they have, Germany being the kings of science. And as such, whenever the Archduke was murdered, the Great War, erupted again. However, it wasn't advances in science that deterred and ended the fight. It was the disastrous ruination that magic allowed to run rampant in a battlefield that put everybody into treatises. The name of this game is the Troubleshooters. You are a 4-person squad working for a government that controls magic. So, I look forward to seeing everybody's submissions for the roles, and I will be very selective. I'm looking for things in particular. I want to make sure that you have good lighting. I want to make sure that your backdrop isn't too busy. I want to make sure, like, mine's just plain white. If you want to do plain white, if you want to do something that's blurred out, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we have a good reference of you. I want to make sure that you're coming through, that your audio and your video quality. This is going to be a lot tighter, but we'll talk more about those technical things whenever we get in there. So I look forward to seeing everybody's submissions. Please get those into me. I will put in an end date, but tentatively I am looking at probably ending the casting call in about 2 weeks. So I will get that out tonight so that people can put that in. And if this plays right, I'm looking to work with a marketing guy or a guy who has a lot of marketing experience, partnerships and see if we can't start supplying you guys with something. I can't promise you that. So don't come into this thinking it's a paying gig, but I'm going to do my best to see if we can't provide you guys with something. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can catch me on Discord, Twitter, is Direbear AC on the Discord channel, which you can find linked over there. Facebook, you can find me everywhere. Just feel free to ask me questions. If I don't respond right away, know that I will get to you as quickly as possible. A huge thanks to our production manager and playing Zastari for the last 46 episodes, Maddie. Thank you so much for making sure that everybody's camera's working. The layout was done by her, and it's fantastic. The artwork was done by Zone. You can find them on Twitter. It's fantastic artwork. I really loved it. It was great to see that. Playing as Ezra, we have our social media person, and that is Cute. So thank you very much for making sure that, for the most part, whenever I wouldn't step in there on your toes to post them up there, you got all the posts out that we're going live and things like that. So thank you for all of that hard work and for playing a character that was kind of interesting. It was neat to see a race or a homebrew, because you know how my feelings are on homebrew. I normally don't like them because I feel like they're overpowered, but I was really glad to see that it wasn't an overpowered situation. So awesome job. Playing Tongaroa for the last 46 episode, we have Molly. Thank you very much. What you guys don't know is that in the midst of all of this, Molly had a move. Like, there's a lot going on. Molly finished school and moved and everything else like that, and still made every game. I think almost every game. I know there were a couple that you did.
No, I made every game.
You made every game. Awesome.
Every game that I said I wasn't going to come to, canceled by coincidence. Got canceled.
I probably canceled it because we had a lot of people that were like, "Hey, this is," and playing it with me for the first time, and playing in the last not 46, but a lot of episodes. We had Zora, who being played by Sarah. Sarah comes to us by way of Eric. They were friends before all of this, and for some reason, she's like, "This guy seems like he's okay." Not Eric. He's not okay, but that's a different story. Something about playing in a game with me, and I said, "You know what? It sounds awesome. Let's do this." So hopefully I entertained you, and I loved Zora. I thought that she was this fantastic character development thing that you had going on there, so thank you very much. Playing Satil, and the sacrificial lamb at the end of all of this was our friend Eric, who is here local with me. So if you ever run by Lucky Dice, if he ever gets out again, I don't know if you're going to be out into the world or not.
Well, I had to cut back on a lot of the stuff I do because I started school again. So my time is very limited.
Excellent. Well, if you ever see him around Lucky Dice Cafe, make sure you punch him in the arm for us. And then we have playing Mello in almost every single episode with us. I know you were a couple times where you got ill and things like that. We have our wonderful Steve, who is an old friend of mine and came with us on the last adventure and on this one, and maybe, depending on who I select, maybe in the future. And so thank you very much, Steve, for joining me on all of these as both Gillett and now as Mello. It was a lot of fun. And I will say that there is one other honorary cast member that I didn't mention, and I forgot to, and that is Archibald. Archibald is living on a farm upstate with all the other chickens. I'm kidding.
No, didn't we leave him on the ship with Aelinor?
I think Archibald is on the ship with Bite and Aelinor and all the others.
If we got reset into time, he's just in Jopus Landing waiting.
He's
to
still in the maze.
Well,
Is,
but we didn't get reset into time, though. Everything that's happened on our journey actually still happened. We just don't remember the exact details. And we're back to being the human versions of our fantasy selves.
He reset it.
I was saying that's a reset of time.
everything.
It was back. To
Nobody
the
knows
beginning.
anybody.
Yeah,
none of us
Yeah.
know
It has
no
a fleeting memory, but all of that shit's gone.
everything got reset all the way back to the point before you shot the girl because
So
of the
with
wording.
Zora-
Yeah, but then,
Zora wouldn't even have been in the town.
and I wouldn't have been able to go home.
Well, I guess we'll have to ponder those mysteries out. Did it get reset all the way back? Or did it reset portions of it? I guess that's a discussion that you guys can catch up with us in the Discord channel and ask all those questions, and I will be able to answer them for you. I'm certain of it. Anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all for your support. We really appreciate it. Your support helps us pay for all of the fun things like a mellow mic if we if we get it. So if you can, I understand times are tight, but if you can, get a sub from us, or if you have Twitch Prime, you can always donate your sub, throw some bits our way, or if you want to, you can support us on the Patreon. We have nothing up there in the moment, but I know that a couple of us are in talks about making some changes to it and putting it up there. So hopefully we'll see you all again in the next game. I will keep you all posted on what's going on. In the meantime, on Mondays, what you might start seeing is me streaming some video games or something, because we'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you once again. Don't forget that we have more games throughout the week. On Tuesday, we have Vampire the Masquerade. On Wednesday, we have Monster of the Week. On Thursday, we have Descent into Avernus. On Saturdays now, our brand new show, Stolen Cities. You guys should check it out, because his hand was slimy because it was morning. And if you don't get that reference, you're just going to have to go back and watch the clip and go back and watch the video. Thank you all once again for all of your continued support. We love you. Take care of yourselves. Good night, everyone.